The master of the current, the built empire. For 15 years, Daichi lived by a singular rule: control everything. He was the CEO of a rapidly growing tech empire. He had the classic millionaire mindset: laser focus, unyielding discipline, and a belief that raw willpower could bend reality to his desires. He measured his life in metrics, scale, and flawless execution. But reality has a habit of breaking even the strongest iron. Within a single month, a market crash devastated his company's valuation. His top executive betrayed him to a competitor, and the stress landed Daichi in a hospital bed with a failing heart. Sitting in the sterile room, staring at his plummeting stock tickers, Daichi felt a terrifying rage. He had engineered a perfect system. He had outworked everyone. Why was his empire slipping through his fingers? The moment he was discharged, refusing to return to his chaotic office, Daichi drove deep into the countryside to find a legendary master gardener named Rin, known for creating landscapes that survived the harshest seasons. Daichi marched into the quiet, moss-covered garden. "I built perfection," Daichi demanded, his voice tight with exhaustion. "I controlled every variable. Yet, a single storm has ruined my life's work. How do I build something that cannot be broken by chaos?" Master Rin didn't look up from the gravel path she was meticulously raking. She paused, leaning on her wooden rake, and pointed to a beautiful crystal-clear stream cutting through the garden. "You suffer, Daichi, because you're trying to build a fortress out of water," Rin said softly. "I don't build out of water," Daichi countered. "I build out of data, contracts, and concrete." Rin stepped down to the water's edge. The ancient Stoics spoke of the Logos, the grand, ever-changing river of time and nature. You believe success is a static monument you can build and lock away, but change is the only law of the universe. When you demand that the market, your employees, or your own body never change, you are fighting reality itself, and reality always wins. She bent down, scooped up a handful of dry sand, and squeezed it as hard as she could. The sand forced its way out between her fingers, spilling back onto the earth until her palm was nearly empty. "This is your current mindset," Rin observed. "The tighter you grasp for total control, the more life slips through your fingers. True wealth is not a tight fist, it is an open hand." Daichi looked at the empty sand. "If I don't control my business, it fails. If I don't fight the chaos, I lose." "You confuse alignment with surrender," Rin replied, guiding him toward a magnificent stone tea bowl resting on a wooden bench. The bowl had been broken once, but its cracks were beautifully mended with shining molten gold. "This is Wabi-Sabi," Rin explained, "the Japanese wisdom of honoring imperfection, asymmetry, and the natural cycle of growth and decay. A true master does not pray for a life without storms. They lean into the concept of amor fati. They love the storm because it tests their ability to adapt." Rin looked deeply into Daichi's tired eyes. "The golden seams in this bowl make it stronger and more valuable than it was before it broke. Your current failure is not the end of your empire. It is the gold that will mend your character. Stop trying to force the river to flow backward. Learn to navigate the current." Daichi returned to the city, but he left his obsession with total control in the garden. When he walked back into his chaotic boardroom, the tension was palpable. But instead of slamming his fist on the table and demanding flawless numbers, Daichi sat quietly. He listened. When a team leader delivered bad news about a lost client, Daichi simply nodded and asked, "The market has shifted. What does this new reality allow us to build?" He stopped tying his identity to a flawless balance sheet. He accepted that people would leave, markets would fluctuate, and plans would break. Instead of panicking, he focused entirely on how gracefully he and his team could pivot. He applied Kaizen to his leadership, improving their adaptability by 1% every single day. Years later, Daichi's company grew larger than it had ever been, but he was no longer the stressed, angry man in the hospital bed. He was calm, unshakable, and profoundly at peace. An interviewer once asked him, "How do you stay so calm when the market is so unpredictable?" Daichi smiled, thinking back to the golden-seamed tea bowl. "Because I finally realized that true success isn't about preventing the cracks. he replied. It's about knowing exactly how to fill them with gold. Stop trying to control the storm and start learning how to sail. Like, share and subscribe for more videos.